Listen to me, I'm talking to you. You must invest a minimum of 5 million. And you are not investing by opening a shop here. You are not investing, eh? You are not investing by opening a shop here. You've never. This is your benefit. It's not our benefit. This is our country. You are going to do what we want you to do.
And
you must leave in fact.
And his brother cannot visit from his brother.
Foreigners are flooding South African schools now. 400 schools to be closed in South Africa due to low student turnout.
The Eastern Cape Department of Education is closing 123 schools due to dwindling enrollment numbers. The decision to close the school was taken this financial year, with the move already being implemented in some facilities, and a further 300 schools will also be closed in the next few years.
And when I tell you that they don't like going to school, you think that I'm mad. Now look at this. 400 schools are shutting down because the kids, they don't want to go to school. South African children don't want to go to school. And then you claim that foreigners are flooding your schools when schools are closing because there are no children. You see, this what shows you the madness in this thing. The madness.
Today we are talking about a story that the media has flattened into a headline. But beneath that headline lies a whole ecosystem of institutional failures, digital literacy gaps, and communication breakdowns. I am talking about the dispute between Member of Parliament Fadil Adams and Parliament's ICT department, all unfolding in front of the Matlanga Commission. Now, if you have only been following the mainstream narrative, you have probably heard one version. Adams is making excuses. Adams ignored the commission. Adams had multiple devices, so why didn't he respond? But today, we are going deeper because this is not a story about a laptop. It is a story about systems. So here is what the public has been told. Parliament says Adams had a laptop, a tablet, and a smartphone. They say their ICT logs show only minor issues: password resets, login problems, Wi-Fi hiccups. The Commission says they emailed him in October 2025. They say he did not respond on time. And the media, those ones, they have already chosen their villain. Already. But let us pause. Because anyone who has ever dealt with an ICT department knows this. That having devices does not mean those devices work. And having devices does not mean the user knows how to use them, especially in a parliament where many MPs were born long before the digital era. Right? That is the truth. So, let us peel this onion, shall we? Let's peel it. The first layer. Parliament's ICT logs show password issues, login issues, and Wi-Fi issues. Those are not small problems. Those are exactly the kinds of problems that cause missed emails, failed synchronization, and unreliable access. Second, we do not know if Adam's devices were synchronized. We do not know if his email was configured correctly. We do not know if his tablet was ever set up. We certainly do not know if his smartphone had parliamentary email installed. Third, we do not know the age of those devices. We do not know the technical specifications of those devices. We certainly do not know if the laptop was refurbished, reissued, or nearing end of life. Fourth, again, we do not know Parliament's ICT backlog. We don't know their response times. We do not know if all callouts are logged. We do not know if the ICT department even has a proper CRM system. And I'll tell you why this matters. Because Parliament has not acknowledged my own constitutional review submission for over 12 months. So, if they cannot see a constitutional submission sent by email on 26 May 2025, they cannot see a commission email sent in October 2025. The same year. Now, let us talk about the commission. They say they emailed Adams in October 2025. But that's something the commission is not saying. They do not explain why no follow-up email was ever sent, why no SMS was sent, why no phone call was made, why no WhatsApp was used. The Commission does not explain why no escalation occurred, why no reminder system triggered, and certainly why no delivery confirmation was requested. Again, the Commission did not explain why no read receipt was used and why no alternative contact method was attempted. See, a commission of inquiry should have redundant communication channels. They clearly did not. So the question becomes, if the Commission's own systems did not escalate, did not remind, did not follow up, why is the burden placed entirely on Adams? Why? Let us be honest. The media loves a simple story. A neat, valiant, but this story is messy. It is technical. It is bureaucratic. It is systemic. And instead of asking the hard questions, the media is pushing the easy narrative. Member of Parliament ignores Commission. Member of Parliament blames laptop. Member of Parliament under fire. But here are the questions they should be asking. On ICT logging standards, the question should be, are all ICT incidents logged? On device synchronization, the question is, were Adam's devices actually synchronized? On Commission escalation protocol, the question is, why was there no follow-up? On email delivery verification, the question is, did the Commission confirm delivery? On ICT backlog, the question is this, how long does Parliament take to resolve ICT issues? On CRM systems, the question is, does Parliament even have a CRM? On MP digital literacy, the question is, what training do MPs receive? On spam filtering, the question is, could the email have landed in spam? On PA support, the question, do all MPs have personal assistants? These are the questions that reveal the real story. So, the dispute is not about a laptop. It is about institutional reliability, administrative competence, ICT infrastructure, communication protocols, media framing, public perception, political pressure, and narrative shaping. See, Adams may be telling the truth. Parliament may also be telling the truth. But both truths are incomplete. The real story is the systemic failure underneath. So, as we watch this unfold at the Madlanga Commission, let us keep our eyes on the real issue. Not a laptop, not a headline, not a drama, the systems. Because when systems fail, people get blamed. And when people get blamed, the truth gets buried. It doesn't get free.
Allow you. I'm a resident here. I lived here.
That's cool, but
you don't do that to me because I'm a woman.
Hey, I didn't tell you to shout at me.
I'm shouting because you said I must move.
I didn't say you must.
So you harass women. So you harass women.
Can we talk like adults?
No, so you're gossiping. You say I must keep my voice down. I want to. I want to. Why must I move? Just the permit. You check the permit. You check the permit. Why must I move? Because I'm black. Because
okay, now let's both recall.
So, there was a fire at Jikajo Informal Settlement. There was a fire and about 600 people have been displaced. They've lost their homes. They've lost their belongings. And according to SABC News, the victims are battling the freezing cold. Does this sound familiar? Does this ring a bell? A fire destroyed their homes over the weekend. It's very cold right now in South Africa, and around plus minus 600 South Africans are languishing in the cold at Jikajo Informal Settlement. Can I remind you about Jikajo Informal Settlement? Let me remind you. Whilst Jacinta was busy campaigning in June, before we got to the 30th of June, Jacinta held a rally, a march around this area. At the end of that march, if you remember correctly, a young lady was given the microphone and she was given an opportunity to what? To speak. This young lady got on the microphone and said, my brothers have been killed. My brother was killed by a Malawian national in Jigajo informal settlement. Do you remember? Do you remember this story? Immediately she said that all those people that were angry and that had been hyped up by Jacinta started marching towards Jigajo informal settlement. This place housed a lot of Malawians. A lot of Malawians stayed in this informal settlement before the 30th of June. They marched to this place. They got hold of a Malawian national. They unalived that man through severe beating. Do you remember that? A Malawian man was unalived at Jigajo informal settlement after Jacinta had brought up a young woman to claim that her brother had been unalived by Malawians. Those claims were never verified. Somebody lost their life at Jigajo informal settlement, a foreigner, and nobody cared. In fact, people were celebrating. Do you remember? Do you remember how the majority, or in fact almost all of the Malawians, after that man died, they ran away with their lives? Those are the very same Malawians that were gathered at that campsite that the eThekwini municipality was trying and doing all sorts to try and help them, and the gift of the givers and so forth and so forth. Do you remember? So, whilst 600 South Africans have lost their belongings and they are suffering in the bitter cold, a larger number of Malawians also suffered in the bitter cold, and people were laughing and mocking them. So many news outlets mushroomed overnight, going to that camp, taking them videos, asking them numerous questions. These were at one point went there to taunt them. And they said, "We are going. Why are you coming here? We've already left our homes. We're in the camp. We're waiting for transport. Why are you coming to harass us in the camp?" The point I'm trying to make in this video is, what goes around surely comes around. It was very cold on the 30th of June and the days leading to the 30th of June. It is very cold now. How does it feel to sleep outside in cold weather? How does it feel to receive a call from your loved one saying they are stranded, they have nowhere to go, they are sleeping outside, they have no food, they've lost everything? How does it feel?
Fellow South Africans, Africans in particular, the Department of Home Affairs has launched the ETA, Electronic Travel Authorization. It is going to be easier to travel to South Africa, than it was before. The application will be done digitally, and is going to be very efficient, and it will be done quickly. Without any delay. I think this is one step at the right direction. It will be easier for those who are coming to South Africa for tourism, business, and for investment purposes. Okay, it will be easier. At least we are on digital technology right now, and Home Affairs is moving with speed, something worth celebrating. And we hope that other visas will follow suit soon. in terms of work permits, this temporary resident permit, all permits in the country, we hope that soon will be done digitally. But this is just one step at the right direction when it comes to visitors visa. When coming to South Africa, it will be done online and it will be easier. It will be done within few minutes. But I'm going to read as to what it means, okay, so that you can understand fully. All right. So it says here, the President of the Republic of South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa, has launched the electronic travel authorization at the OR Tambo today. And remember, this follows the G20 summit that was held in South Africa. That's where this was actually initiated. So the ETA will be has been officially launched as the cornerstone of the South Africa's modern digital immigration system and the flagship reform of the Department of Home Affairs Digital Transformation Program. All right. The ETA combines advanced biometric verification, machine learning, and the upgraded electronic movement control system. As part of the modern digital immigration ecosystem that strengthens border security while making travel to South Africa faster, simpler, and more secure for legitimate travelers. All right. This reform will enhance South Africa's competitiveness as a destination for tourism, business, and investment, while supporting more efficient and secure border management. The launch marks a significant milestone in the digital transformation of the Department of Home Affairs and the Border Management Authority, demonstrating government's commitment to harnessing technology to improve service delivery, safeguard national security, and facilitate economic growth. The program is a very important one, ladies and gentlemen, something worth celebrating indeed. So, one step at the right direction when it comes to digitizing Home Affairs, to eliminate corruption, to eliminate bureaucracies around it,